Well, hi, it's Peter Irvine again. Welcome to the second video from the Book of Nehemiah. There's so many lessons from this book that you're going to enjoy as we continue in this second video. I've titled this, Together is Better, and I'm sure you've heard that terminology a lot, and it's a bit of a throwaway line, but I want to put some substance around it today in this video. Let me just give you a bit of background. Nehemiah, he was taken captive by the Babylonians, and he approached the king because the king had asked him what was wrong, and he said he'd built a reputation with the king, so he was able to go to him and be able to tell him what his worries were. And he said, you know, my town, my city where I was from, the wall has been broken down. And the king said, yeah, I'll approve for you to go. So Nehemiah goes, and he asked for volunteers. Now you've got to understand there are hundreds of thousands, if not millions, went into captivity, and only a small number wanted to go with Nehemiah to rebuild the wall. The rest had become comfortable in captivity and oppression. And, you know, it's easy for us to get comfortable in our churches and our businesses, and we don't grow, we don't go forward, and neither do the organisations we're involved with. So Nehemiah goes back, and with the small number of people, they rebuilt the wall in 52 days. You might say, oh, well, a wall, it's not that big. Should be able to do it in 52 days. But let me tell you, in his day, the wall was 4 kilometres long, 2.5 metres wide. And what he did was, he came with a strategy. He rebuilt it in individual sections, and he built it by different people. He got them into groups, so they each built a part of the wall together. That meant at some point the sections of the walls needed to be seamlessly integrated together, because there couldn't be any gaps or weaknesses because of the enemy's threat that wanted to take over them and kill them and stop the work. So the workers would have to work closely with one another to rebuild the wall. And in our businesses and our churches, we need to work together as a team, all levels, to make that particular organisation go forward. When it doesn't, we reach a ceiling, or we only grow to the level of those that where they're comfortable in growing to. So why is it important that this wall was finished? Well, they had to stop the enemy. See, the enemy was bitter against them. They resented them, and they were jealous that they could actually build this wall, which they'd never been able to do. And in another book of the Bible that we'll get to, which has some great lessons, Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verses 9 and 12, it says, a 3-strand cord cannot be broken. You get a single string, you can break it. You get a 2-strand, it's harder to break. And then you get a 3-strand cord, very hard to break. Now, who is this 3-strand cord? Well, that in case of my wife and I, it's her, me, and God. That's a 3-strand cord that cannot be broken. And that's what you need to have in your business and in your church and in your relationship. So together is better. So find the right people who will lock arms together with you and take you forward. There's a story about 2 World War II veterans were sitting in the front row in an auditorium, and Jimmy Durante, an old comedian, was asked to come and entertain. He said he was too busy, but they pressured him and he came. He said, I've got a few minutes, then I've got to go. I've got other commitments. He came and he stayed on the stage for a long time, and when he came back off the stage at the back, someone said, I thought you were busy and you had to go. He said, yes, I am. Why did you stay? He said, have a look through the curtain in the front row, and there were 2 World War II veterans. One had lost the right arm in the war, and the other had lost the second arm in the war, but together they were clapping in time and enjoying the show. You see, together is better. And you need to get key supporters if you're a ministry. You need to get your key volunteers and your team in your church. You need to get your workers in your business together and work together to go forward. So together is better.